Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good Monday morning, Grenada, Caracou, PT, Martinique. Bless up your spicy Grenadian cells near and far. Grenadian blood flowing through your veins. A special good morning to each and every one of you. How are you? How was your weekend? I trust it was a peaceful, restful, interesting weekend. It's been a tough few days for us here, especially in Grenada, dealing with COVID-19 and what's currently taking place. But nevertheless, we are in the land of the living. We have at least, I'm sure we can find at least 5 things to be thankful and grateful for. No matter the circumstances, it's a bright Monday morning, the very first Monday in the best month of the year. You have to give praises for that. You get to see the 6th day of the 9th month of 2021. Not everybody made it to today. So no matter your circumstances, give up a word of thanks, a word of praise, a word of gratefulness. Show appreciation. You are in the land of the living. You're on the wake-up list this morning, so get up, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. I know some of us won't want to spend an extra hour in bed or so, but you gotta do what you gotta do. Money has to be made, so you gotta get up, get out the door, and get to your essential work that you are able to get to this morning. No matter what you're doing, get up and give praise. Whichever platform you're using to join us on Good Morning Grenada, thank you very much. Those of you on the Facebook page, the YouTube channel, the website, GBN TV channel 7, 11, and 20. Good morning, of course, to the listeners of Classic 105.5, 105.9, and all the folks joining us on Party Grenada and Go To Fet Facebook pages. Our viewers and listeners across the Caribbean, whichever part of the region you are, a spicy Grenadian 473 morning to each and every one of you. I know you are all dealing with your own issues in your respective countries, but no matter what it is, I bless up your whole selves. And our viewers and listeners across the rest of the world, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Hope you will have a good day, are having a good day, have had a good day. Let's get straight into it. Lots to share this morning. It's time for this morning's word of the day. This morning's word of the day is a word we've been hearing quite a few times over the past few months, or I should say a year and some. The word of the day this morning, moratorium. Moratorium. It's spelled M-O-R-A-T-O-R-I-U-M. Moratorium. It's a noun which simply means a suspension of activity. Moratorium comes directly from the Latin word which means tending to delay, a derivative of the verb which means to delay, and from the noun which means delay, hindrance, or pause. The ending aureus, tending to, is also found as orium or ori in English terms for places in which a certain action occurs regularly, such as an auditorium, a place where something is heard, and dormitorium, a place for sleeping. The word of the day this morning, though, is moratorium. Moratorium. M-O-R-A-T-O-R-I-U-M. Moratorium, a noun which means a suspension of activity. An example of the use of the word: financial institutions have been offering moratoriums since the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic. Oh, off the top of my head, Blossom, make up that for yourself. Tell me I do bad. Tell me I'm not on thing. Word of the day this morning. I'm very proud of myself. Word of the day this morning, moratorium, spelled M-O-R-A-T-O-R-I-U-M. It's a noun which means a suspension of activity. All right, as we start the week, the very first full week of September 2020, let's see what's the thought for today. And it's not just for today, it's one of those thoughts that can get you through a lot of situations. The thought is, don't change yourself so that other people will like you. Be yourself so the right people will love you. Don't change yourself so that other people will like you. Be yourself so the right people will love you. The right people gonna love you for who you are. The right people gonna love you for the things you do, the things you say, how you are. If you have to change for other people to like you, they ain't worth it. They had to love you for who you are. All they had to love Blossom for who Blossom is. Blossom wild, she loud, she likes soca. That's who Blossom is. If you don't like Blossom, find something else that you like. Set up yourself elsewhere. And don't come by here, so, because this is who Blossom Robin Alexis-Welsh is. So the thought, don't change yourself so that other people will like you. Be yourself so the right people will love you. Thought of today. Remember that as you go about your day. People will try to change you, but you are who you are. Let's see what is celebrated today, September 6, 2021. Today, as a book lover, I'm excited. It is Read a Book Day. If you need an excuse to start a book, continue a book, or finish a book, today is that day. Read a Book Day. It calls on book lovers to indulge in their favorite hobby, guilt-free. Bringing new worlds to life, books enlighten us and transport us on exciting adventures. They can challenge our perspectives on the human experience in ways unmatched by other media. In a world deluged by technology, Read a Book Day encourages us to silence the noise and turn the pages for a while. Read a Book Day. Start the book that you in the back of your bookshelf, or one that you started a few weeks ago and you haven't found the time to continue. This is a good excuse and a good opportunity to do so. Read a Book Day. That's a good day. I'm a reader, so I like that day. So it's an excuse for you to find a book and indulge just a little bit. All right, where are we now? Information time. First things first. Today, there will be an hour of prayer. Today, how should I put it? It is the official start of the 2021-2022 school year, with a difference. Schools, students, teachers, they're asked to join school online, especially as Grenada is dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. Schools will start online once the institution has the ability to do so. With the start of the new school year, the Ministry of Education is holding an hour of prayer, which usually takes place on the very first day of the start of the school year. And today, the hour of prayer starts at 8:30 a.m. Of course, it will be carried on GIS Facebook page. I'm not sure exactly where, so I don't want to put GBN in problems and say they'll bring in it, and I'm not sure. So for sure, it'll be on GIS. I'm not sure about the other stations and other platforms, but you can join it. 8:30 a.m. It will feature prayers, of course, words of encouragement from religious leaders, as well as remarks by Minister of Education Emmeline Pear. The theme, facing a new beginning with optimism and confidence. So there'll be prayers and messages to the children by various religious leaders. So join the hour of prayer, 8:30 a.m. as the new school year begins. A lot of you have been calling for prayers for the nation, and so this is a good opportunity to join. At least it's starting or continuing somewhere, even if it's just for school. At least it's a prayer session. So join 8:30 a.m. on GIS. If I get information that'll on GBN, of course, Blossom will share. All right, now let's get ready for the news. Remember, the regulations have started. The initial regulations announced by Prime Minister Mitchell expired on Friday. But however, new regulations took effect on Saturday. It's a lot and too much for Blossom to share. So you can always go on to GIS, Ministry of Health's social media. Every now and then I'll be sharing a little piece about this and that and so on and so forth, because it's a lot of information. So just know COVID-19 continues to rampage. Grenada has recorded now over 1,000 COVID-19 cases. If my calculations serve me correctly, most, or at least 1,000 of those cases have been recorded within the last 2 weeks. We need to be safe. We need to be cautious. We need to be careful. COVID-19 is real. Your masks, wash your hands, soap and water, not just water, soap and water. Hand sanitizers if soap and water are not readily available. Social distancing. I saw some gatherings just for testing. That is the next story, but let me leave that there. Social distance as best as you can. COVID-19 coconias. We recorded the most cases in a span of 24 hours over the weekend, with 280 cases. That was reported on Friday night, I believe it was. And as the health officials warn, it will get worse before it gets better. I don't want you to be among the statistics, okay? All right, now let's get ready for the morning edition of news. For those of you on radio and those of you on our visual platforms, Week in Review. It's Good Morning Grenada on a marvelous Monday. We'll be right back.
Ruby Gas. Get cooking. Ruby Gas. Clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100 pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG. Clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas?
Get Rubis, get going.
Because your vehicle is a necessity, being roadworthy is critical. Hubbard's Motor Department introduces its new tire and battery sales and service outlet located at Building Supplies Compound in Grand Anse, close to the Sugar Mill Roundabout. Available are a wide range of competitively priced tires, maintenance-free batteries, oils and lubricants. Keeping in mind your busy schedule, this outlet is equipped to provide you with fast and reliable service. Simply drive in and you'll be delighted with your service experience. For more information, contact 440-2087. Hubbard's. Quality service. Affordable prices.
Hassle-free loans for your every need. Courts have you covered, best believe. Courts Ready Cash is for everyone. Not to worry, fast approval. Hurry up and come. We got it all. We on the go. Courts Ready Cash, you already know. We got it all. We on the go.
Ready Cash. Ready when you are.
We are commencing this week's Weekend Review with what has been a heartbreaking news for many. It's very terrible when your worst fears are confirmed. Well, that's exactly what happened on Monday evening after health officials contacted a St. John's-based clergyman. Indications are that he was told to report to the General Hospital to check in on a loved one who was admitted earlier in the day. However, on Monday night, the word came back that she had succumbed to her illness. The Ministry of Health has recorded her death as the second COVID-19 related death, and on Thursday, the COVID-19 dashboard reflected another 2 deaths. A press statement said that the latest 2 victims were a 97-year-old female from St. Mark who died Wednesday and a 74-year-old female from St. George who passed away early Thursday morning. Both of the deceased had underlying medical conditions, with one requiring ventilation on admission. Rena Per-Thomas spoke with the Health Minister Nicholas Steele on Thursday.
Having already crossed the 400 threshold, the number of active cases in Grenada continue to rise, placing many at risk. Health Minister Nicholas Steele confirmed to GBN today that there were 2 deaths which are COVID-related within the last 24 hours.
To date, there are 3 deaths in this week. 2 deaths in the space of 24 hours, yes. So our total, in 1 person from December, and 3 this week from persons who succumb to various or who succumb to COVID-19 based on various comorbidities or so they may have had as well.
Minister Steele told GBN that he would not divulge the names of the deceased persons or provide any information which could lead to their identification because he wanted to ascertain that all family members and relatives are properly notified and provided with support. It was also on Monday of this week that the second COVID-19 death was recorded in Grenada. 59-year-old Nadika George of Quav St. John succumbed to the virus less than 24 hours after being admitted to the General Hospital. Minister Steele told GBN via phone today that contact tracing continues. He anticipates a continued upward spiral.
Our nurses and health team have been providing, as they always do, human service. They have been out there in the communities doing the significant number of tests and so, which is reflective in the test results that we are receiving, both positive and negative, on the total number of tests that are being done daily. So they are there doing that. They are as well monitoring individuals in the community who are positive on top of doing their as best as possible some of their regular duties.
Statistics from the Ministry of Health indicates that 80% of Grenada's active cases are among persons who are not vaccinated. Some persons are exhibiting mild symptoms, but the minister has recorded other patients with severe indicators. Minister still continues to encourage the public to take advantage of the pop-up vaccination clinic in various parishes. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear-Thomas reporting.
With increased numbers of COVID cases recorded this past week and the rapid succession of deaths, several aspects of life, as we know, was thrown into disarray. On several days this past week, some services became inaccessible as more persons came into contact with the people who had contracted the virus. Pharmacies, banks, retailers, and some manufacturers were forced to put their operations on pause for some time. As we will hear from Chrislina John, the National Insurance Scheme was among those impacted.
GBN has been reliably informed that an employee at the National Insurance Scheme, the NIS, tested positive for COVID-19 and has been told to self-isolate. Workers there are fearful that their lives are being put at risk. According to a reliable source, employees from the plague department were asked to isolate, however, are still intermingling within the same lunch area with other employees. Director of the NIS, Dorset Cromwell, was contacted.
Yes, so we do have a case, as you have inquired. Right? So the person, I think, reported to us that they may have been exposed, right? And once they advised us that they may have been exposed, we asked them to isolate, leave the office and isolate. And additionally, persons who may have been in contact with her during the course of that particular morning, we've also asked them to isolate.
Cromwell spoke on other internal measures taken by the insurance scheme to protecting themselves and their customers.
And of course, they would have to be tested before they return to work. Right? Internally in the office, we have been very good with the physical distancing, right? Because we have adjusted. Our workstations are pretty well separated, so that is good. In the lunchroom, for instance, we have separated all the tables, and there is only one chair to a table, and persons have been, wearing their masks and using the hand sanitizers and so forth, and we have someone in the office who is sanitizing the different workstations as customers come into the office and leave the office.
The source told GBN they believe the entire organization should be closed for a while to ensure everyone's safety. However, Cromwell says the one positive case, in his view, does not necessitate a complete closure of the organization.
As I said, based on the protocols that we have in the office, we don't think that will be necessary, but we would monitor the situation because, of course, first and foremost is people's safety. The safety of the staff, the safety of the customers, but we don't think that is necessary, right? Okay. And we will try to, make sure that persons are tested to ensure that they are negative. But we don't think it is necessary for a shutdown of the office at this point in time.
The employee, Cromwell says, must first have a negative PCR test before returning to the workplace. The latest active COVID positive count has reached over 300, and speculations are rife that Grenada is heading for a complete shutdown. Chrislina John, GBN News.
A local medical doctor is worried that the Caribbean can see the emergence of a coronavirus variant which is endemic to this region only. Rena Pear-Thomas reports on the various possibilities as health experts try to get a grip on the spread of the virus.
The World Health Organization reports that a strain of the coronavirus that causes COVID-19, which was first detected in Colombia in January, has become a variant of interest. It will be closely monitored for signs that it could be resistant to the vaccine that have been approved. The variant SARS-CoV-2 has a constellation of mutation that indicate potential properties of immune escape. This development is of concern to health practitioners in the Caribbean region, including the former permanent secretary in the Ministry of Health, Dr. Francis Martin. He explains that a new variant is normally developed when the spread of a virus is at its peak in a country.
Across the world, whenever we see a country with very high transmission rates, usually variants occur. The English variant was the same, the South African variant was the same, and closer to home, the Brazilian variant occurred when Brazil was at its highest transmission rate. And similarly, the Delta variants occurred when India was experiencing very high transmission rates. I've always been concerned and continue to be concerned that if the Caribbean is not careful and we experience a high transmission rate here in the Caribbean, it is quite possible that we ourselves may develop our own Caribbean variant. And now that we have an additional tool, which is vaccination, that we quickly consider vaccination as a way of preventing the transmission or high transmissions and decrease the chances of variants.
Although there has been less than 10 COVID-19 related deaths in Grenada, thousands of people around the world have succumbed to the virus. Families are unable to say a proper goodbye.
I must say however, though, that the WHO has sanctioned burial of people with COVID-19. So it is okay to bury those persons, but some countries, depending on their priorities and the local circumstances, may choose to cremate, especially as it's a new virus. Families had no time at all to grieve when their loved one died from things like COVID. Even while they were alive before they died, they didn't have a chance to say hi or relate to them. And this is really adding to the enormous psychological burden that the pandemic is causing on people.
Director of the Pan American Health Organization, Dr. Carissa Etienne, is concerned about the recent development in the region as more people become affected, putting healthcare systems under severe strain. She notes that more than a third of the countries in the Caribbean region are yet to vaccinate 20% of their population. In some places, coverage is much lower.
Vaccination rates remain in the teens in several Caribbean and South American countries, and coverage is still in the single digits in Central American nations like Guatemala, Honduras, and Nicaragua. We need to deliver an additional 540 million doses to ensure that every country in the Americas can cover at least 60% of their population.
Dr. Etienne urged countries to place emphasis on vaccinating the more vulnerable segments of the population, such as the elderly, health workers, and people with pre-existing conditions. For GBN News, I am Rena Pear-Thomas reporting.
Meanwhile, the debate over mandatory vaccine continues. The Grenada Union of Teachers has stated its opposition to any such policy which may be contemplated. The GUT says it is the right of the individual to make sensitive decisions about their health, and the union remains firmly committed to defending this. This stance was adopted as government deferred the opening of schools and requested that teachers return to the classroom to teach students virtually. But as we will hear from Beverly Tellisford, COVID-19 is not only having an adverse effects on the education system in Grenada.
In Grenada, the economic and social fallout of COVID-19 has been significant. You hear it from 13-year-old student Tyler Smith.
When you had COVID, we used to have to stay home and do Zoom classes. Sometimes we used to miss it a lot. But we used to have to go to school.
Would you miss some of the classes on the Zoom platform?
Yes.
Why?
Because the Wi-Fi used to give a lot of trouble.
But it's not just the limited Wi-Fi access that educators must now contend with. Rising cases in Grenada resulted in a pause on the planned reopening of schools, but Beyond the Headlines panelist Julie Lutz says it's no different in North Carolina.
several of the schools that have already started in the area that were planning to not have any remote learning have, within the first 2 weeks, had to go to remote learning because of the increase in COVID cases and quarantine. So it's been kind of a mess for parents, students, administrators, teachers, everybody.
Rachel Fisher lives in Florida, and she too has witnessed the upending of the education system caused by COVID-19.
We started school, so school has started here, and immediately had, hundreds to thousands of cases of COVID within the first week of school in the bigger school districts here in Florida, like Palm Beach County and where I live. And they are having to go to more remote learning. They're having to go to mask mandate.
The Grenada Union of Teachers is against vaccine mandates, and it's not unique to the local fraternity. Beyond the Headlines guest, Mrs. Judy Marshall, who is a Grenadian by birth, says teachers in New York are also into the throes of this thorny subject.
We're waiting on tomorrow's meeting with the president of the United Federation of Teachers, Mr. Michael Mulgrew, to see what the union is going to have to say about that, or do teachers have to quit their jobs if they don't want to be vaccinated. And I think a lot of the resistance comes from people not being, not feeling comfortable being told what to do. I think the resistance is mostly stemming from that resentment that somebody is telling a grown person what to do with their own body.
The common theme running through Monday's Beyond the Headlines was, we may live thousands of miles away, but we all have common problems.
Let's go back to what would have been heart-wrenching news for many. Last weekend was a woeful one for the family and the friends of the now-deceased Ali Alexander. Ali was believed to have died instantly after his bike crashed into a building along H.A. Blazer Street. Meanwhile, Police Commissioner Edwin Martin has made a vehement denial of reports which suggest that the biker was being chased by law enforcement officials just before a crash on H.A. Blazer Street. This report was compiled by GBN's Chrislina John.
It was a woeful weekend for a Springs family and friends of a youngster who has become known for his love for bikes. They received the sad news on Friday night that Ali Alexander had departed this life. Ali is believed to have died instantly after his bike crashed into a building along Hubert Blaze Street, St. George. A person who was in the vicinity at the time was heard to say that the youngster had overtaken a vehicle on Scott Street and proceeded onto H.A. Blaze Street through Fair, where he later collided and crashed. Commissioner of Police Edwin Martin told a press briefing today that investigations have commenced into the circumstances surrounding his death.
This accident occurred on Hubert Blaze Street, and at the point in time, according to the information so far with the investigation, the accident occurred while in the process of passing another vehicle on his motorcycle, and that other vehicle being a service vehicle belonging to the RGPF. Currently, the investigations in this matter is ongoing. To date, all of the on-scene investigations have been completed. The motorcycle and vehicle involved have been examined, and we now await post-mortem results as we advance the investigation in this tragic, sad, and unfortunate accident.
Some accounts claim that Alexander was involved in a chase with the police. However, the notion was quickly shut down by Commissioner Martin.
On all of the evidence and briefing, and I've had repeated briefing on this, there is no truth to any suspicion of racing, speeding, or racing down the person as a pursuit from a law enforcement point of view whatsoever in this matter. we will continue with this investigation. The fact that it still is a very open investigation, it will be premature to get into some of the elements of the factor. But from the preliminary information I have, there seem to be some judgmental issues that might be involved in this case, and I actually wait to the outcome of the investigation before we can speak definitively.
His death has left a void in the hearts of many, including members of the biking fraternity, his immediate family, and his close friends.
It's more like a brother figure to me, right? Anytime we had our free time, we used to go out and chill and stuff, you know. Just have fun for the day. Most times I used to come down here and check him and thing, you know. We just talk, reason out life and thing. He always just show me little scenes and stuff, you know, like how to carry on with myself and thing, you know. He was like a motivated person, you know. He just always know the right time to make a joke and, you know, like things to just make you focus on your mindset, things where you want. Forever. He was my brother, so he'll forever live in my mind.
He was my cousin. Well, not was, it is my cousin. And Ali was a respectable young man, you know. Don't get yourself involved in no family problem, no nothing, no smoking. He drink a little beer, you know, and he spent most of his time with his kids and his mom and his girlfriend.
Alexander was a student of the Westerhall Secondary School. The institution issued a message on its Facebook page expressing deep condolences. The school's body said that Ali will be greatly missed. The message added that he was known for his warm personality, his loyalty as a friend who never passed you on the street without an acknowledgement. Chrislina John, GBN News.
During the week, police announced that they were investigating a suspected hit-and-run accident that occurred in the St. George's Northeast area on Tuesday morning. Investigators attached to the Traffic Department St. George are examining the circumstances that left an elderly man hospitalized in stable condition. The accident occurred just after 5 a.m. on Tuesday at Mount Gay, St. George, close to the Lamode intersection. The victim is a resident of Lamode, St. George. The vehicle allegedly used by the accused was discovered at Ravine Tempe, St. George, and impounded. The accused was detained, questioned, and released pending further investigation. In other news, attorney Jerry Edwin is now unarmed. Chrislina John told us what brought this about.
Attorney Jerry Edwin is in the news again, and once more the story surrounds his firearm. Following an altercation at a house 2 weeks ago, he has lost the weapon. It was confiscated by police pending further investigation.
The police commissioner at his press conference yesterday announced that my licensed firearm was taken and that a review was underway with respect to that license. And that is the way it should be. No one, not even me, no one is above the law in Grenada. The procedure is that once any individual, for any reason, withdraws a licensed firearm from its holster, the licensing department at the Royal Grenada Police Force must conduct a review.
Commissioner of Police Edwin Martin told the media on Monday that they have completed investigations into the video in which Mr. Edwin was seen drawing his firearm at an individual.
It's a matter involving attorney at law, Mr. Jerry Edwin. The investigations on this matter was completed. The advice of the DPP was that we should not prefer charges against Mr. Edwin. Notwithstanding this, however, Mr. Edwin's firearm was taken for review of his license status by the licensing authority. This matter remains a matter under investigation, noting, however, that 2 other individuals out of this said incident actually was charged for various offenses.
Attorney Jerry Edwin is calling for custodial sentence of the 2 individuals who were charged.
We applaud the decision taken by the Royal Grenada Police Force to charge the two perpetrators who invaded the home of Jacob Marshall and assaulted him and the other three occupants of that house. And we are hoping, in fact, I am looking after the interest in the court of Mr. Marshall and the occupants of that home, and we will plead with the magistrate for a custodial sentence of a very long-term tenancy at Richmond Hill Prison for those men who committed such heinous offenses at Jacob Marshall's home.
The matter will be heard in court next month. Christina John, GBN News.
My Digicel presents Hit by a How-To. Here is how you can purchase a plan in the My Digicel app and get instant access to all of our apps. It's simple. Let me show you how. From your home screen, find the Plans and Bundles icon in the lower left corner of your screen. Tap it to see your available plans and bundles. You can choose between a Prime bundle with data and talk or pick a plan from the Available Plans tab. Find the plan that's best for you, then hit confirm and you're ready to go. With your new plan, you may have access to more of our apps. Find them in the More from Digicel section and hit download for each of our new apps. You can also upgrade your current plan or bundle under the Active Plans section of your homepage. Excited to try it out? Download the My Digicel app today. My Digicel, better together.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Imagine having the home of your dreams. Imagine investing in that piece of property you can call your own. Imagine finally doing that home improvement project you've always been thinking about. It's time to stop imagining and start doing. Let the GUT Credit Union help you take the first step with fantastic rates, affordable repayments, and reduced legal fees. Make the move. Get better terms on your mortgage. Use your home equity to make those dreams a reality. Act now. There's really no place like home. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Introducing Color by Sissons. 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 Color by Sissons.
Let's get tough on breed your larceny. It will destroy our economy. Larceny threatens our food security. Can hurt us locally, hurt us globally. To all the buyers, ask for license from all produce sellers. To all the people, 300 for police for them thieving fellas. To all the farmers, please don't steal produce from your brother. Then you're selling to traffickers, hotels and street vendors. Nah, man. Let's do all we can to stop radio larceny. New vigilance, new laws, and a tough judiciary. Stop Grenada's organized business crime. It's time.
To report radio larceny, call 300.
Are you looking for quality herbs and herbal supplements, or are you thinking about having a complete body cleanse to jumpstart your health? Then no need to look further. Visit Nirvana Natural Health Clinic, Detox Center, and Natural Health Store. We carry a wide range of herbal products for kidney and gallstone cleansing, male sexual enhancement formulas, asthma and sinusitis, gas and bloating, acid reflux, constipation, arthritis, imbalanced hormones, female health issues, liver cleansing, weight loss, and so much more. Also available, colonic irrigation, holistic health consultations, essential oils, and diffusers. Look out for our online natural health store coming soon. Call 231-6642 for 18-7115 or 449-7753 to find out about our delivery options or to book an appointment. Visit us at Belmont St. George's, close to the Fallage, Monday to Saturday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Nirvana Natural Health Clinic. Detox your way to health.
Protect yourself and our community from COVID-19. Wash your hands frequently with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. If soap and water are not available, use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer with at least 70% alcohol. Use a tissue when blowing your nose, sneezing, or coughing. Immediately discard the tissue properly and wash or sanitize your hands. Avoid close contact with people who are sick. Let's do our part to ensure that each and every Grenadian remains healthy. To stay up to date, visit the Government of Grenada's webpage or the Ministry of Health's Facebook page. For more information, contact the Ministry of Health's hotline by calling 53-VIRUS. This has been a public service announcement brought to you by the Ministry of Health.
There's no better way to start your day than with me on Good Morning Grenada. Good Morning Grenada is your one-stop shop. We have information, education, entertainment, your bi-weekly traffic cam, and we link up with the sister isles of Carriacou and PT Martinique. Join me every 6:35 on weekdays for Good Morning Grenada. It's your daily dose of all things Grenadian, mixed with just a little bit of crazy.
Good morning, good morning.
I said just a little bit of crazy. I tell all of the things that take me. Good Morning Grenada, 6:35 a.m. on weekdays, available on all GBN platforms. Start your morning off right. Good morning and welcome back to Good Morning on this marvelous Monday, September 6, 2021. Those of you just getting out of bed, happy to have you. Those of you who stuck with us, thank you for your patience. Let's get into this morning's discussion. It comes at a timely manner when a lot of you have been asking for tips and suggestions and a reminder of how to build your immune system, especially in the wake of the COVID-19 pandemic. So joining me virtually this morning is a nutritionist that is here to give us some information and help us do just that. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming this morning Gardeina Savoury. Good morning, Ms. Savoury, and thank you very much for joining us. Happy to have you.
Good morning, Blossom. It's a pleasure to be here.
Thank you very much. Like I said, this is something that a lot of people have been asking for, some information on how to build our immune system. A lot of people, they don't want to resort to taking the vaccine. They want to be able to, I guess, build their immune system, maybe even in addition to the vaccine. So let's first start from some basic information. For people looking to build their immune system and to get back healthy or get a little bit healthier, how can we do that?
Okay, so the immune system plays a very, very, very special role in our day-to-day health. And what our immune system does is that it protects us from things like germs, bacteria, infection, fungi, and so forth. So it helps us, our body, to fight against things that we ingest, we breathe in, and so that are harmful to our bodies. So it is so important that our immune system works optimally so that we can fight against diseases. And in particular, we're talking about the COVID-19 virus. So if we have a strong immune system, we'll be able to have a strong response against that disease.
There are different food groups and different kind of nutrients that we need to be getting. Which one should we get more of?
Well, getting more of, I wouldn't put it that way. But there are specific ones, I guess, that fight again, that help to build the immune system. So we're talking about those that provide a anti-inflammatory response, or that would help to build up some of the cells that help fight against the diseases. So we have things like the natural killer cells and the T cells that really help to destroy some infected cells. So we're talking about nutrients such as vitamin A, vitamin C, vitamin B, some of our minerals such as iron, zinc, selenium, vitamin E as well. We also need protein. So we're talking about these specifically that help to boost the immune system. What food should we be eating? Okay, so we really do need a very vast variety of foods on our plate. So we're talking about, say, for example, vitamin A foods, which really help to boost the immune system. I normally say we can look at the orange and the yellow vegetables and fruits. So we're talking about things like pumpkin, pawpaw, in that kind of classification. And then vitamin C foods are really the fruits. So we need to have fruits on our plates. Then we're talking about things like ground provision. Ground provisions are excellent. They are full of nutrients, and we have a lot of it. So what we have really would help to boost our immune system. We have fruits, we have ground provision, we have foods such as chicken and fish. Fish is an excellent source of omega-3s, and they would really help to boost that immune system or inflammatory response. And that is what we really want to keep working optimally. So we have these foods that I just mentioned. We have a lot of it, and we want our Grenadian public to engage in eating a variety of foods every day. That is so important.
Also important is moderation. You may tell somebody, eat pumpkin to help you build your immune system, and they might sit down and eat a whole pumpkin by themselves. What portion quantity can you advise would be best to help build the immune system but not to overdo it?
Okay, so for females, we may need about 1.5 cups of fruits for the day. Right, so that is not so much. It's not like sitting down and eating a bowl of mangoes, right? It's maybe one mango and maybe another fruit like an orange, a small orange. For males, they may need a little bit more, so about 2 cups, right? Vegetables, we need a little bit more vegetables than fruits. We particularly like to eat more fruits than vegetables. But in this case, to boost our immune system, we need a little bit more vegetables because they have a lot more of the nutrients that we need. So we need about 2.5 cups. That's for females. So whereas you need 1.5 cups of fruits, you need 2.5 cups of vegetables. For the males, as I said, 2 cups of fruits and 3.5 cups of vegetables. So you see the proportion there. For children, for fruits, you just need about 1 to 2 cups of fruits, and for vegetables, 1 to 3 cups of fruits of vegetables. That's the amount.
How do you measure the cup? Because it won't fit in the cup. If you understand what I'm saying, like if I slice, as we call it, a grain of fig, and I have 3 grains, there'll still be space in the bottom of the cup how it's slanted. So how do I measure? A cup of gum provision.
Okay, so you basically kind of have to eyeball. When I talk about the cup, I'm talking about the 8-ounce cup that we usually use to bake with.
Right.
Measure all right. So you just basically have to eyeball. It just means that it's not a big slice of melon. It would mean like a small slice. Most persons, like my clients, I would ask them to maybe initially, the first time you're cutting up, you want to measure, you cut up the fruit, you look at the size that you cut, and then you cut it up and put it in a cup. And then that will kind of give you an initial, kind of idea as to what it looks like, what a slice looks like.
So while those are the foods we should be eating, what should we avoid during this time?
Yes. So really and truly, we, just as normal, a nutritionist would tell you to avoid high sugar, high processed foods, high in salt, high in fat. So these are the same things that we're going to still suggest that we limit. Foods that are high in sugar, high in salt, high in fat, and I'm talking about like trans fat, bad fats. We have foods that are high in fat like avocado, but they're good fats, so we encourage those. We also would suggest that persons who are accustomed to smoking, to limit that. When you smoke, you weaken your immune system. When you drink a lot, you weaken your immune system. An activity, a lifestyle that is very low in physical activity, that also weakens your immune system. If you are not getting enough rest, not enough sleep, that weakens your immune system. So in order to strengthen your immune system, you just need the opposite. Stay away from smoking, stay away from drinking as much as possible. Have a lot of rest. Make sure that you are physically active, because all these things help to strengthen your immune system. When you rest, you're able to replenish yourself. You're able to, to heal during the night. So it's important that you get about 7 to 11 hours of rest. Maybe you may not go for 11, but you might go for 7. That is so important, so your body can repair itself.
Exercise is also a part of being healthy. But there are some people who may not be as mobile or may not be as active. Any suggestions for the people who can't move as much as they would want to?
Yes, so it's important to find a regimen that works for you. The important thing is that you move. So whether it be going in your garden and cutting some flowers, just rooting up some grass, doing a little bit of gardening, or just maybe moving around the house, just being deliberate about moving. That is what's important, because we don't want you to endanger yourself in any further way. But whatever works for you, whatever fits you, that is important to do. Just make sure you get a little sweat in for the day, for lack of a better way of putting it. A little sweat.
Meat. My eye fell on the poster behind your shoulder with a slice of fish.
Yes.
Not all meat is good meat. Can I put it that way? Are there meats that we should get more of and those that we should get less of during this time especially?
Okay. Yes. So we're talking about those that we should get less of would be those that are high in fat. So particularly, I'm thinking about red meats, because you see a lot of them being high in fat. You see the fat under the skin, and we're talking red meats like beef and mutton, and so a little less of it, because they are highly inflammatory, so they would encourage inflammation, and that's what we want to get rid of when we're talking about the immune system. Now, those that would fit us best in this time would be meats such as fish, poultry, so whether it be chicken, duck, turkey, we're talking about those, and we can also get protein from our peas and our beans and our nuts.
Any fish? I've heard.
Oh, yes.
Any fish? Because I've heard, there are some fish that may not be right. But any fish could work?
Any fish could work. There are those that we've heard that have mercury and so, but I think in generally our waters are pretty okay. So any fish for Grenadians would be okay, unless you have like a specific disease condition. But in general, any fish is okay. Our waters are good.
Okay. I also heard that one of the things that some people should do before getting the vaccine is to go there with a full stomach. Is that something that you are aware of? I know vaccine may not be your thing in food and nutrition, but just in case?
No, I'm not aware of that. It's not something I've heard. So,
food preparation. That is also an important part of nutrition. How the food is cooked. In Grenada, Caribbean, we we stew chicken, we stew this and we stew that, and we curry this and we curry that, and baked in barbecue sauce and ketchup and all the nice my mouth watering at the moment. What's the best way to cook without skipping the flavor but still getting the nutrients?
Right, and I'm so happy you brought up that, because I think these are practical things that Grenadians want to hear about. Let me start with some of the vitamins that we lose through our cooking process. So we have vitamin C, which are all our fruits. We're talking about things like our leafy vegetables, and so we like to boil them. Because we say, we get flavor from it and so forth. But we do not encourage that you boil these vegetables, and so, because what's going to happen is that we lose it through the water. It leaches out, the vitamins leaches out through the water, and even in vitamin C, it's destroyed through heat. So we like to cook our tomatoes. But guess what? We lose a lot of the vitamins, especially vitamin C, when we do that. So as much as possible, the raw, the better. Then you mentioned like the stewed chicken, and so stewed chicken, of course, we're using sugar. So we encourage as much as possible to use less sugar. So whatever process that can allow us to use less sugar, less fat, we encourage that. So more baking, more steaming, even using turmeric. Turmeric is an excellent spice that helps boost our immune system. We encourage that. Instead of using a lot of the salt, and so we can put clove, turmeric, a little lemon juice in our fish when we finish baking it, just to make sure that we get a little sodium from it. We get the taste of salt. So these ways, let's use ways like that use less of the fat, less of the sugar, and that would be excellent for cooking our foods.
And as you mentioned turmeric, that reminds me of what I call concoctions. Ever since, we've always had remedies, home remedies, passed down from generations of this and that. With the onset of COVID, we have people coming up with a combination of all kind of things, turmeric and garlic, and blend this and blend that. And how careful should we be? And is there a chance of overdosing on these remedies, on these concoctions, as I call them?
Yes, there is. There could be a very harmful effect to our liver, especially because our liver filters out a lot of things, get rid of waste. And there is a very important place for things like turmeric and ginger and the concoction, as you say. There is an important place for it. But it's not good to overdo. So I normally would say once a day is good enough. You want to make a concoction, take it once a day, particularly in the morning, so that it can help for the day, and that is enough. Not lunch, because it's good, you have your breakfast, lunch, dinner, that's too much. So once a day is fine. But it's important to have those.
Do you have a remedy that you use as a nutritionist? I'd quicker take your advice on any of these things that you take, whether it's to boost your immune system or anything.
So I use a lot of ginger. I love ginger. I like to cook with a lot of garlic as well. So these two things especially are very good. But if you use a lot of clove and cinnamon and turmeric as well, I incorporate it in all of my dishes as much as I can because I know they're so good. So basically that's it. But also it's important to use a lot of vegetable. I use a lot of vegetable. Half of my plate when I eat is vegetable. And that is important for every Grenadian to know, that you have to have more vegetable on your plate than any other thing, because that is what is going to help to boost your immune system. And it's important to have your fruits as well every single day.
Getting children to eat vegetable could be a task. Any advice on how we can make it more attractive, tasty, maybe to encourage our children to eat half a plate of vegetables? And when I say children, I include me there too, because it's tough.
Right. So the most important thing is to just include it in the foods that you like. You don't want to you may not start off like me, eating half a plate of vegetables, because I didn't start that way. But something that I know that my mom did, that she incorporated it in things that I really like. So I like macaroni. As a child growing up, she would put the vegetables in the macaroni, blend the callaloo or the spinach or whatever. So I have a nice green pasta with my cheese and my milk and so on. And I mean, I enjoyed it as a child, seeing the different colors, even putting it on things like pizza. Put it in that. If they're eating a sandwich, include a thin slice of tomato and maybe a piece of lettuce. Don't put it big, just as how adults don't like to see it big. Of course, the children would like to see a big slab of lettuce. But if you cut it up nice, if you're making your sandwich and you're making your faces, you put the carrots as the eyes and, like a little raisin or a little piece of pepper or so as the nose, children would like to see. So, of course, you're not starting off with half of your plate as vegetables, but it's important that they see it and also educate them as to the importance, especially in this COVID-19 period. Tell them how important it is to have their vegetables, and hopefully they're listening so that they can hear from me as well.
And you mentioned all the things that you can eat, but just highlight for me what an ideal full day meal or meals would look like. What to have for breakfast, lunch, dinner, maybe a snack in between, so that we can have an idea of what a full immune backing day meal could look like.
Yes, okay. So for breakfast, it's always encouraged to have a protein, a staple. So for example, we may choose to have, I think Grenadians like a lot of bread. So let me use bread for an example. So you have maybe 2 slices of whole wheat bread, because wheat gives us a lot of vitamin B. So we want to have that and a lot of fiber. Then you may choose to have, say, an egg, maybe shallow fat fried, and then we have vegetables with it. So you might choose to have a piece of avocado because it's in season, and you have some lettuce, and you have some nice herbal tea, because our herbs as well, they would help to boost our immune system. For a snack, you may choose to have a fruit. So a fruit with maybe a yogurt if you have that, or if you want to make like a fruit smoothie, that's important. So you can put some pawpaw with, maybe pawpaw is not the right one because pawpaw is kind of bitter, but if, let's say, some watermelon. Watermelon is in season. You have some watermelon and you put maybe some thyme with it and you blend that up with some ice. That's a nice snack. For lunch, you want to have your ground provision with a nice slice of fish that is baked, and maybe some Christophine and your callaloo or whatever that is in half of your plate. You want to have that as well with some nice flavored water. I'm not saying juice, flavored water. In the afternoon, you can have a nice maybe tuna sandwich or something for a snack. And then in the evening, you might want to have maybe not bread again, but some ground provision, a little bit there with some fish or maybe chicken that is flaked with some vegetables again. So, it's something like that. All the foods that we encourage today, just make sure you incorporate it. Not forgetting as well, having our beans and our peas. That's so important. So those of us that like to have our pea soup, it's a very immune boosting food as well. So we can have that with our ground provision, and whether you put fish or turkey or so in your soup, that is important as well. If you have diabetes, you want to limit. I'm thinking of all my clients. Limit the amount of starch, because you know that beans and peas do have starch in it. So you don't want to have too much ground provision in it, because you know already that you're going to get some starch from the peas and the beans.
Okay. And which beans?
Any beans, any peas. Well, the dry ones specifically, because the green ones, they're more on the non-starchy side, because of how they consist. They're green. Yes.
Okay. And finally, you mentioned bread. What is the best type of bread? And let's say I only have white bread, does toasting white bread make it better for consumption? Because I know they say stay away from the white. Does toasting it make it better for consumption? And which is the best type of bread? Whole wheat, rye, multigrain?
Yes, so white bread, toasting it does make it easier for us to eat, well, me particularly. But in this sense, I would say as much as we can, stay away from it. But if that's what you have, you can toast it because it makes it easier for you to eat. That's fine as well. Just remember that it would spike your blood sugar even more. And I'm talking particularly to those that are at risk for diabetes and those who have diabetes. The best bread to use is bread that has fiber in it. So whole wheat, multigrain, all of those that you just mentioned. Okay. If you make it at home, you can add some seeds, some linseed seeds, chia seeds, and all the other seeds and nuts that we talk about. You can make it to suit your taste. But it's more encouraged that you have something in your bread.
Okay. Final thoughts, Ms. Savoury?
I just want to encourage us that we have everything that we need in this beautiful Isle of Spice. We have our ground provisions. We have so many fruits. We have so many vegetables. We have the clean air that we can breathe, and we can go out and exercise there. So we have it all here. Let us use it to our advantage. Let us use it to boost our immune system. Grenada is a clean and, as I said, beautiful place. So we have it all going for us right here in Grenada. Let's make sure to have a balanced diet every day. Let us use our natural spices to our advantage. Let us exercise. Let us have rest. It is important to have rest. And I think that because we have the curfew now, that we're able to go in our beds earlier, hopefully. So let's use everything that we have to our advantage. We will do well.
Thank you very much, Ms. Savoury. Very timely information, and I'm sure it will go a long way for all of our listeners and viewers. Appreciate it. Thank you for the advice. Thank you for the tips, and we will definitely put it into action. Enjoy the rest of your Monday. Thank you for joining.
Yeah. Thank you.
Nutritionist Gardeina Savoury, just some tips on how to build our immune system, as especially we go through this COVID-19 time. You can always review the information, the video, the interview will be posted on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, so you can always go back and remind yourself of the information. Very timely and very informative. So thank you once again to Ms. Savoury, and thank you to the Food and Nutrition Council. At this point, let's take a very quick break, and we come back and join Just School Media for this morning's Traffic Cam. Good morning, Grenada.
5 lucky customers Customers are enjoying free drinks, free electricity, free fuel, extra cash account, free internet, cable, and data, all for 1 year. Hubbard's Live Free for 1 year big promotion. With just 2 draws remaining, you can be the lucky winner in August and September for property or vehicle insurance for 1 year, free cooking gas for 1 year, and the big free groceries for 1 year. Live free for 1 year with Hubbard's in association with Sol Gas, Flow, Grenadian General Insurance, Carib Brewery, Coca-Cola Grenada Bottling, Grunlick, Communal Cooperative Credit Union, Dutch Lady Milk, Promo, Danny, and Supreme. Hubbard's Live Free for 1 year big promotion.
How did you get your electricity bill to be so low? For one, we size our transformers just for what we need, and we unplug transformers, chargers, and other devices when they're not in use. We also replaced our light bulbs with LED. I even replaced the seal on my refrigerator door to keep the cold air in. How do you know if it is working? We pay attention to the usage history table. Over time, our average usage has decreased.
Grunlick, energizing our Grenada.
State-of-the-art Ultratech gasoline and diesel, available only at Rubis stations.
Let's now join Just School Media for this morning's traffic cam. He's in the city this morning, currently on the Carnage. Let's hear what the traffic is like on the outside. How the road looking clean. So this morning, let's hear what Junior is seeing on Saturday.
Then we're gonna make our left turn and go under the Sandal Tunnel. A masterpiece of engineering. Under the Sandal Tunnel. Here goes the lines again to get into the bank. 6 feet distance. Maintain your safe distance. Wear your mask correctly. Cover your nose and your mouth. Please cover your nose and your mouth, people. Now we are downtown St. George. As people traverse to work. Most people have on their masks, but some are still not wearing it properly. Please. It's a beautiful Monday on the island of Grenada. We are on Melville Street, just outside the bus terminal. Yes, so we're just encouraging you. We're encouraging your people in order to... We are on Melville Street, just outside the bus terminal, and we've seen there's a lot of traffic coming into the town of St. George, either via River Road or from Cherry Hill. Yes, it's very important to follow the protocol outlined by the World Health Organization and even for our local authorities. It's very important to follow the protocols. It's for our safety and the safety of our neighbors. So you see, there's not much traffic as before coming into St. George's via River Road or Cherry Hill. A month ago, today, traffic will have been all the way back to the outside the National Stadium. We see on the sea at the moment, we see Dolly C is coming in from Carriacou. Dolly C is coming in from Carriacou. That's the traffic on the sea this morning. She has no congestion on the open seas. She just smoothly cruising through as she travels from the island of Carriacou. Now we are outside of the Kirani Gymnastics Stadium. We're going to make a circle and we're going to come out on the Humpback Bridge. So we just want to encourage you, we want to encourage one and all to follow the protocols. Wear your mask correctly, sanitize, keep your distance. Gets vaccinated. If you have any underlying conditions, you check with your medical practitioner first and get his advice. Also, build your immune system, vitamin C, rest. Just want to remind you that at Just School we also do wedding, we do graduations, and now that there is restriction on how many people could attend funerals, we do live streaming and video recording of funeral services all over Grenada. We have live streaming on Facebook, live streaming on YouTube, live streaming on Zoom, and we also give you a video recording so you can contact Just School on 473-409-1981. You can contact Just School on 473-409-1981. So give us a call. We have the best value in live streaming, video recording of weddings, funeral services, birthdays, whatever the celebration is. Celebration of life, celebration of love. You you check just school. Now we are just crossed the Humpback Bridge and we are on River Road, just outside the St. John's River. And still not much traffic on the road. It's a beautiful day on the island of Grenada.
Blocking the traffic, causing the traffic, let go the traffic, 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 traffic.
Every Monday and Wednesday, 7:45 a.m. right here on Classic and GBN. We bring you an idea of what the traffic is looking like on the outside so far. The roads are pretty cleared for what's rush hour, 5 minutes to 8, and not much traffic on the road. That means we're adhering to the call that if you don't have to be on the nation's roads, to stay home. We are not in normal times, we're in COVIDious time. So if you have to be outside, like me, I have to be here. If you have to be outside, stay inside. That's the motto, and from the traffic I'm seeing this morning, that means we're listening because it's not traffic jam rush hour to get to work. I like to see it. Grenadians, continue to stay safe and do what you need to protect yourselves. Wear your masks in public spaces. Soap and water for 20 seconds. If it's not readily available, hand sanitizers. We need to continue to do what we need to do to stay safe. Within the last week and a half, 2 weeks, Grenada has recorded at least 1,000 COVID-19 cases, and the numbers continue to climb as contact tracing continues. Over the weekend, the ministry rolled out a number of testing and vaccination sites island-wide. I saw some footage, some pictures and videos from Spiceland Mall. I saw footage from Grenville. I saw one picture from St. Patrick, I think it was. Continue to be safe. I saw I saw gatherings, which to me was a bit scary considering you're going and get tested for a virus, but you are clustering or close by, not observing the 6 foot distance. I admire the amount of people that went out to get tested, but the way that we were waiting to get tested was a bit scary. I'm not gonna lie. Hopefully we can better that as we continue to roll out the testing sites across the island. We can have some law and order and 6 foot distancing while we wait to get tested. So please, even if it's you alone standing 6 feet away from everybody else, be the Lone Ranger. I always say it. Public buses full to the brim. Be the Lone Ranger in your mask if you have to. We need to protect ourselves. And this is where we are going to end the televised portion of Good Morning Grenada. Appreciate your listenership, your viewership. Thank you so very much for your time. We're getting ready to join the BBC for its 8 a.m. newscast on this marvelous Monday. Thank you very much, everybody. Stay safe.